in your drinks. My name is, and I'm an alcoholic. Not for real, but what else do you call this?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Roses Are Reddit, the official Reddit Bachelor podcast. I am your quality host, and with me are my guests. We have Queen Overthrown, Texas Fiend, and a very special guest, Ashley Spivey. Say hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So, it's weird, like, Ashley's the only one who doesn't have, like, a cool Reddit handle.
That's okay. I think she's might be better without it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
You can call me by my drunk alter ego, Trashly, if you want to.
Oh, that's
There,
pretty good.
there it is. That's the one.
Okay, we got you.
All right, we got
That's
it.
your Reddit name now.
So, Ashley, I'm sure you're aware the cast got released. I don't know how familiar you are with the cast, but we just kind of wanted to get your opinion on the cast as a whole, and then we've got some, hypothetical questions for you and everybody else. So, I guess let's just start in with like what you think of the cast all up.
I was pretty happy with the girls that he has. I feel like a lot of them are really cute. I feel like there are some smart girls in the cast. I like the diversity. Overall, I'm pretty happy. I can't really tell if necessarily they're Ara's type. But I mean, supposedly he ends up with someone, so I don't know. The girls, to me, I felt like I looked at their pictures and then I looked at them on social media, and the impression I got from their Bachelor pictures was completely different than what I thought about them from social media. So I feel like you can never judge from their pictures, ever.
That's fair.
That's fair, yeah.
Do you know Ari?
I do.
Okay, so what do you think his like ideal type of girl would be?
I mean, this is going to sound like such an easy answer, but it's kind of like a mix between Emily and Courtney Robertson. Like, it's someone who's not necessarily like, well, they are beautiful, but not like overly beautiful, and then also that they have like some spunk to them and that they can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know, did that make sense?
no,
Yeah.
that's good.
That made sense. I feel like that's a pretty overall good
Yeah,
thing to look for in people, so.
a normal person.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, a normal person.
So then he should not have gone on The Bachelor.
No.
I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah.
Um,
I think he was really hurt that he didn't get picked around the time that Sean was chosen.
Yeah.
So I think he's always wanted to do it since then.
So what do you think that I personally am not as familiar with that season and Emily's and Sean's season. So what was the driving force, do you think, behind Sean getting picked as opposed to Ari?
Well, I can tell you this. I'll tell you this from my personal experience. Because back then I used to blog about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I fully wanted Ari to be the Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I actually met Sean at a charity event. And this is maybe unfair, but I thought he was like very vanilla. I thought he was like a ginger. I thought he was going to be like a Jesus freak that was like not interesting at all. And then when I met him, he was so funny and so cute in person that I actually texted the producers and I was like, "You're crazy if you don't pick Sean."
Wow.
And I had met Ari in person too, and I thought he was super attractive and everything. It's just, I almost felt like they just needed something different, and Sean was kind of that different. He was funny, but
I think you cut out, but I think the word you were looking for was wholesome. She started.
We can all guess.
answer your question.
So you kind of cut out, but I think the word you were about to say was wholesome.
Yeah, wholesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Nailed it.
Nice.
That's cool. You actually know Ari. This is helpful. So you like him as obviously a Bachelor choice.
Yes.
All right.
Do you think it's better that he's coming on the show now, like giving it some time?
Yeah, I actually do, because I think that sometimes when you get off the show, the attention you get is a little much, and sometimes I think you can get caught up in all that, and you could even meet a lot of people even before your season starts, and it just makes you douchey.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think
You get a little
that-
bit egotistical, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that...
And I think... Oh, sorry.
So I know that Ari and Jeff, the winner of that season, Jeff kind of has a reputation for being kind of a player, and Ari kind of got caught up in that, especially if you read Reality Steve at all. Do you think that that has any bearing on that? Do you think that has anything to do with it?
I'm not completely sure what happened with them, because when I did meet Ari, I also met Jeff. And at that point, I wouldn't even say they were necessarily players. But I would definitely say that Jeff gave more of a player vibe than Ari did. Ari seemed to have more of a heart, and Jeff seemed to be having more fun with the reputation that he had gotten from The Bachelor, where like everyone thought he was the sweet one, but in reality it was kind of the other way around.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is actually really interesting to get a completely like different take on this, because as so far all we've really heard is, Reality Steve, and he is a very biased view. and I know that I personally have said some disparaging things about Ari and Jeff, or Ari specifically related to Jeff, and so this is actually kind of eye-opening for me. So I think I like
Right.
it. Yeah.
Well, this is an interesting, an interesting pick for The Bachelor, because this hasn't happened in a long time, like since Brad Womack, where there's a long time in between seasons that the person becomes the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. And so, I think with anyone, like in 5 years, Ari could have dated how many people, and the first person they're going to go to is Reality Steve and tell them every bad thing Ari ever did.
Yeah.
True.
And he already didn't like Ari, if I remember
Right.
correctly. So the bottom line here is don't listen to Reality Steve.
I mean, I think that we should just give him a chance, see how the season goes. And I mean, for all I know, like, he's a douche on this season. Like, I'll make another judgment after we watch the whole season and see what he does. I don't know.
That's fair.
But, the Ari that I knew wasn't. And I only hope that in 5 years he matured and is actually serious about this process.
True.
Ashley, that was a very well-reasoned take, and something that is completely not appropriate for this podcast.
No.
We are here for the hot takes and the overreactions.
I'm sorry. I'll try to
You're a
hold
voice
back
of
a little bit
you're
more.
a voice of reason.
So
Y'all should
speaking,
have got a younger Bachelor girl.
no, we'd rather have you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, speaking of the people who are vying for Ari's heart, does anyone stand out to you? Which of this
Yes.
cast? Okay.
Ooh.
There were a couple of girls I really liked, or I felt like were going to have a strong presence on the show.
Have you read spoilers?
I've read a couple, unfortunately.
Okay.
But are we talking about ones that I think stand out, like they'll make it far, or ones that just stood out to me, like I thought were really interesting?
So
Let's maybe go with interesting.
let's go with
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Chelsea is definitely going to have a strong personality. She reminds me
yeah.
a lot of Courtney, actually. I think that's her. I hope I'm not getting these wrong, because I really did all this stuff today.
It's fine.
Mikkel, is that her name?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Well, there's she's beautiful and she seems interesting, but I've heard things, so I don't know.
Yeah. So I thought Becca is beautiful, Becca.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Yeah.
differentiate between these two. Like the other one is Becca.
Okay.
There's short hair and long hair.
Still,
Yeah,
that's
so
kind of.
Becca is the really young one. And I was noticing in her Bachelor profile, they did not put her age.
Yeah.
That usually means either they're really young or they're really old. And, you know,
So
those
she's really
Bachelor pictures are so awful. Like, I really couldn't tell if she was a lot younger or a lot older. But then I saw some of the spoilers that she's
So we
a lot younger.
actually had someone stalk. We had so basically our previous
Do
podcast
research.
episode was everyone did research on these people, and Becca was the person who did Becca confirmed that she's like 22. Something like
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's young.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I kind of have to like her because she's a nanny too.
True.
So
She is.
I feel kind of something kindred there. But it was like, did y'all ever watch Unreal?
Yes. Which
She
season?
kind of reminds me of like the girl who killed herself
Yeah.
on the very first season.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that was older.
She took the
Yeah.
pills, right?
Yeah, but
I
that
think
was
she
that's
jumps
like
off.
the pixie cut.
Yeah.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she
That's
jumped
what
off
it
the
was.
roof.
Yeah.
So, and the smile maybe or something. I kind of
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Let's see, who else? Well, I tweeted about this today. I love Lauren J because in one of her answers, she said that she loves to order pizza and then just put like a blanket around her and not even use plates, just eat pizza in her bed. Like,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I also thought Brittany T had some great answers.
Brittany T.
Yeah, she was just basically like, all the guys I've dated recently are awful human beings.
We're actually hoping she loses because she lives near Tex. So
So we might just set them up. No.
yeah, we're trying to set them up.
Oh, another awful person on our list.
You don't sound awful.
Appreciate that.
So yeah, those are kind of the ones that stood out to me.
Nice. Who do you think is totally gonna just show up on this show and just bomb? Like absolutely do horribly?
I thought maybe Jacqueline.
I see.
She looked a little over emotional.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
maybe.
she's the crying one. Yeah, because in the preview she cried.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I have here, I wrote Jenny.
Jenny. Oh, does she do anything?
She
I
looks
don't.
like
remember.
somebody famous that I can't quite put my finger on.
Yeah, I can't put it on.
Not like super, super famous, but has been in a TV show or something. I don't know.
Who else did I put? Brittany, but one that's spelled weird.
Oh, yeah, Brittany J.
Yes.
Brittany.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I say Brittany.
yeah, it's Britain. It's Britain.
Brittany's probably better.
And Olivia.
Was okay.
Those are
So
my predictions.
Olivia. Oh, she was the one with the awesome hair, but it's totally gone. You should look at Olivia's Instagram.
Okay.
She has like the most amazing fro, and she totally just straightened it out, and it's just a huge bummer.
Aw, I'm gonna look.
Yeah.
So, which of these, while you're looking, give this one some thought. Who do you think out of all of these people is most likely to start shilling for the FabFitFun or Sugar Bear hair?
To be
or whatever?
honest, though, I don't blame them. If I could do it, I would.
I'm not like, this isn't a knock on them.
Yeah,
this is just
who's
saying
gonna be
which.
the next
Right.
Jade
I
and Tanner.
I had a kind of controversial tweet thread about this where Jacqueline Schwartz and I talked about this before, and I think like a lot of people got very offended by what we were saying, but we weren't just talking about Bachelor people, like we were just talking about anyone that we were following that were like fitness people and whatever,
Yeah.
and Jade got very offended.
Can you give a
But
background
I
for
don't
those
even
of us?
follow Jade, so that's why I really was not including her.
Yeah.
Can you give a background for those of us who are not as Twitter savvy?
Okay, so it basically was Jacqueline Schwartz and I talking about how if we started a podcast, who we would try to be ads on our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And then we were saying how we wouldn't get Sugar Hair Bear Gummies or FabFitFun.
Yeah.
And
I remember
we
this.
that wasn't like making fun of anyone, but then somehow like people just got involved and
Uh-oh.
I think like Caitlin got offended, but we were like, no, we actually really like what you do with yours. Like yours are funny.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's not that big of a deal. I totally understand that. Especially if so many people do the same ads, you probably would want something different. So.
Right. I was trying to say, I thought it was more, I think most companies are lazy because they just pick the same girls from like the same season and then they all release it at the same time and it's just really lazy marketing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I just want someone different, I guess, in my fake podcast.
That's fair.
Well, you will be happy to know that this podcast is not sponsored.
Hashtag not spawn.
Yeah, mostly
I'm
because...
not compromising my values.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody listens to us, so we're
You're
not
fine.
making any money on this.
One day.
Okay.
One day.
We sent Ashley lots of sugar bear hair actually to come on.
We have the generic brand.
Oh yeah, the generic brand was cheaper.
Yeah.
We're a very cheap organization.
No.
I'll take whatever I can get.
If we were shilling, what would we shill? Do you think?
Anything.
I would go with Morton salt,
Oh yeah.
but that's just my opinion.
Real
Literally
salty
the
on this
first thing
podcast.
that would offer us money.
Yeah.
So salty.
Except for now, I feel like we also have to say we can't do
we
sugar bear hair. No one sees us, so they wouldn't buy our hair stuff. They
yeah.
don't. Although we do have fabulous hair.
We do. Not that anyone can see it, but our
Just trust us.
Yeah, like
You
I'm.
sound like your hair's great.
Yeah, I can confirm.
We sound like we have good hair.
I can confirm QL's hair is very nice.
Yeah. Very voluptuous.
So yeah, I thought about that. I feel like Mikkel and Jessica C are already kind of doing it.
Jessica.
So I feel like they'll be really
Jess Carroll.
successful shillers. And Tia, because Raven will get her the hookup with all that stuff.
Has Kia started?
I don't know.
Gotta practice before you get on TV, so good for them.
It's interesting that they're starting to shill already. Who do you think is going to be the most successful? Like, out of all of these women, like, if one of them decided, hey, I'm going to start magically shilling, like, which one is just going to, like, succeed the most?
The one I was thinking would succeed the most is Mikkel, just because, like, I feel like she's a photographer. She's just gonna get that, like, villain edit where people are gonna, like, love to follow her anyway.
Yeah.
So she'll be successful, definitely, doing it at first.
Yeah. Interesting.
Who do y'all think?
God, I don't know.
I agree with you, and I can't really think of anybody else. Maybe, well, I just saw that Caroline Lunny she has kind of a little bit, I don't know if it's an actual ad, but I mean, there's like a clothing brand tagged and stuff. So.
She's the first person from Massachusetts that I've seen on this show, and that's really disappointing to me that she's shilling already.
Nah, it's good. Well, she already is kind of like in this arena because she did Miss Massachusetts and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
she was. Yeah, I'm going with Tia. I think that makes the most sense to me.
Tia? Really?
Yeah. And,
wait, yeah.
Jessica C is already doing, like, YouTube videos.
Yeah, she was
like, that'll really fit in with...
And Kendall does them as well, if I remember correctly. But she doesn't do, like, ad stuff. She does, like, she plays, like, the ukulele and stuff.
Oh.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, she plays the ukulele. What's wrong with the ukulele?
That's cute.
I know.
Sure.
As a guitarist, the ukulele is like the first instrument that people are like, yeah, I want to play an instrument. What can I play? Let's play the ukulele. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, play the ukulele.
Wasn't there another girl who played the ukulele?
I don't remember.
Yes. I don't remember her, but this sounds so familiar.
You know who also played a musical instrument? James Taylor. We're not there yet, but
I thought that was your transition.
No, that would have been an awesome transition. I completely jumped the gun on that.
That's okay. It fit well.
So, who looks out based off the profiles and the early buzz? Who looks like a winner now, but is just she's going to get sent home early and totally be forgotten?
Oh, that's kind of hard, though.
It is a hard question, but I ask the hard questions on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is hard.
I don't know. I feel like I can picture maybe some front runners, but I might be totally wrong.
I feel like maybe Jenna.
Jenna. Oh, this is the trainer one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, she's the trainer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so weird that they put. Okay, so she's a trainer, right? But then why'd they put social media manager as her?
She's the fitness one. I remember because Steve linked like a video of her making a protein shake and was shitting on her for it, and I was like, "This is like a really good video about how to make a protein shake. Like, why you gotta be so mean, Steve?" In case you didn't know, I love just taking pot shots at reality, Steve.
You do.
I do.
Do we not think Lauren J is gonna?
I could see her kind of fading.
Yeah, maybe.
I could, yeah.
Yeah, even though I love her pizza.
Yeah.
I could see. We figured out how to say this, and I told her name, Sain.
Yeah. Oh.
I could see
Is that how you
Sain.
say it?
Yeah, Sain. We're going with Sain.
What about Bibiana? Is that how you say it?
BB.
Bibiana?
BB.
Just BB?
BB-8.
No, BB.
Yeah, I could see her.
Maybe at least a little bit far.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just like her. I don't know.
I like her guilty pleasure is popping pimples. That like resonates with me as a human being. So.
Did y'all notice that like almost every single girl's favorite food was popcorn?
Really?
They said what their favorite food was?
On some
One of their
them.
favorite foods.
Doesn't even count as a real food.
Right?
It's not even real food.
It's a snack.
Yeah.
So I did an in-depth analysis of their bios. And the thing that I noticed was like all of their guilty pleasures were like lie in bed and eat a moderately bad food and watch reality TV. And I'm like, that's my Tuesday. Like, can you please stop? Like, I get home from work and we get on the couch and we watch TV and eat crappy food. Like, what do you want from me?
Seems like you're ready for TV.
I'm ready for TV.
Yeah, should
You're
you be one of these girls? Should you be one of them?
Yeah. You can buy for Ari's heart.
Yeah. I don't think Ari would go for me. I'm not
Maybe not.
I'm not Courtney enough for him.
Have y'all ever done like something where you would answer how you would answer if you were a contestant?
So we do those every so often on this show, on this cast.
Yeah, but not really.
No,
Not
we
like,
haven't done
not
it
like
in
a
a
full one. Oh, wait. Quick question, if we can ask this. So these, where they ask you these questions, is there just a big list they give you and you just fill out a bunch and then they pick some? Or is it like...
Oh yeah, it's like 25 to 30 pages.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Pages?
That's insane because we were talking about it and we're like,
That's what I
some
thought.
of these answers
There's
are...
no way people like do all these real quick.
Right. And we were
Well,
thinking...
There's ones that I think definitely reveal more of your personality. They always pick the really boring ones.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Because some of them you're like, wait, why would they answer that? That seems kind of lame. But then if you think about 20 to 30 pages, some of these you're just writing down to get through it. You know, you don't have as much thought
Yeah.
as other ones. And
That's
it
what
seems
I
like they
always
picked...
thought.
Yeah. So I was always just curious about that.
So which...
Wait, Ashley, what were yours?
Yeah, this is a good question.
Oh, I mean,
You even
some
remember?
of them I can't even remember. I know for sure that I did put, like, what is your worst fear or what are you most afraid of? I put karaoke, and they ended up
Ah.
making
I love
something like
karaoke.
that, which was really dumb.
Oh, of course they did.
Yeah.
So
So I was like, why did I do that?
So you mentioned that there are like questions that are like super indicative of their personalities. Like what they obviously don't post them. What are these questions? Because I'm curious now.
There's a lot about relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I
Makes
almost
sense.
feel like those questions are at the beginning. So those are the questions you answer really in depth. And then towards the end are the more fun questions. But at that point, you're already like emotionally spent from talking about all your bad relationship stuff. And I
Yeah.
felt these are the ones they end up using are the ones at the end where you're just kind of like, fuck it, I'm just going to like write whatever.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Or maybe they just use some of them for like their own personal like
Oh, of course.
stuff, like what kind of dates or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
As someone who loves data, I would love to get my hands on like the full list of everyone's questions because I have this spreadsheet of like I'm not making this
True
up.
nerd.
I know. I actually went through the bios and like wrote down like for each column was like a different question and like filled in their answers, and like the variance was so high. Like they like every person had like a different set of 5 questions. It was like, how am I supposed to like extract random meaningless trends from this garbage? Like, what do you want me to do? So I literally just made stuff up like, oh, like some of them have brown hair or something like that. It's like, oh, cool, that's indicative of maybe Ari likes brown hair. Actually, looking at this list, I should probably say blonde. But yeah, that's
Well, on our season, you know, after you get kicked off, a therapist comes in to talk to you, like immediately whenever you're done. And a girl on my season, after she had gotten kicked off, the therapist came in and kind of got drunk with the girl in her room.
What?
And
Are these real
ended
therapists?
up leaving an entire folder. And in that folder was information on everyone,
what?
including their like psychiatric profiles, what their storyline was going to be on the show, things like this.
And you read this.
And she took it because she left it in the room, and she was leaving the next day, and she was like, I'm definitely taking this.
I mean, why not?
Oh
That's
my
the
god.
wildest Bachelor story I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And so I always asked her, I was like, what are you going to do with it? Because she could have sold it.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Just kept it.
She still has it.
Yeah. I wouldn't have sold it because you probably could have gotten in trouble for that, but it's interesting to keep.
Post it on Reddit.
No.
Post it on
Now,
Reddit.
like, you might as well like sell it now because
Yeah, that's true. Now it's probably okay.
No, they should post it on Reddit.
Hey, if she sells it, it'll be out.
Yeah.
ABC would sue us for real, actually, once.
For real.
Or threatened it.
Oh god.
Have they ever threatened y'all at all?
No.
Threatened
Oh, they
one of
did.
the contestants.
So Danielle Lombard did an AMA for us.
Oh, right.
And she was super nice, and she gave us all of these super awesome answers.
And they were really, like, PC answers.
Yeah, they were PC, pretty generic. Like, it wasn't like her taking pot shots at anyone. And then the producers, then she messaged us later, like, oh, yeah, like, the producers are messaging my lawyers, and apparently I shouldn't have done that. Can you take it down? And we were like, okay.
Oh, yeah. It was too soon after her season.
Yeah.
It was really nice of her to do that, though.
It was. It's kind of sad that it had to, but that's okay.
Never
I
forget.
read that one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Good.
it was fun.
The Matt Munson one was also pretty nice. I felt so bad for him. Everyone was just like, trash Jasmine, trash Jasmine. He was like, no.
Good guy for not.
He's a Red
Then
Sox
people
guy.
were like, why are there so many AMAs? These aren't...
Wait, what'd they say?
You cut out.
One more
They
time.
were complaining that they wanted, like, more important people on The Bachelor.
You're like rude.
Rude. We
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what?
preach a text.
Can't make everyone happy. Okay.
No.
We're not cool enough to get the recent...
I don't know.
Bachelor
We're gonna
Bachelorette.
have pretty good rep now. I think. Okay.
God willing. Your lips to God's ears. All right. Your favorite 4 contestants. Not your top. Not the people who you think will be in the top 4, but your favorite 4 contestants.
Didn't we do this?
No.
Oh.
We do.
Okay, my fave were
Yeah.
both Beccas,
Okay.
Brittany T, and Brie.
I need to see Brie.
Bree.
Oh, I have
This
such a
is the
hard-
girl.
oh,
That, this is the
okay.
girl that Danny knows.
Oh yeah, our friend knows her. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Tex, you're up. Who's your favorite 4?
Lauren.
You cough out.
Oh yeah, he did have 4 Laurens.
Oh my gosh.
QO, who's your favorite 4?
Kendall because I want her job. Oh, I don't know. Tia because I'm also from Arkansas, so I feel like I have to, stay strong with that. Becca K and the other one I don't know. I'm Mikkel. I know that's terrible, but yeah.
I know that's terrible. Interesting. I gotta go Caroline, Jacqueline. I'll also do Kendall. And, I don't know. Let's do... Oh, Becca, because her dog is adorable.
Yes. Can't forget the dogs.
Yeah, that dog is so freaking cute. So now let's do your top 4. So people who you think will go the farthest.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't even have an idea.
Not at all. No.
That's the point. You
Becca M, probably. I want to think Becca K. Those are my only
What
two.
about Lauren S?
Lauren S.
I like Lauren S.
Oh, she was the one who was like... She was the one who
She's
thought...
a teen girl, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she seemed cool.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I remember a lot of people in the sub got super mad at her answer about, like, nerd stuff. She was like, J.K. Rowling's my favorite nerdy author.
Oh, yeah. No gatekeeping for nerdy things, guys.
Yeah, get off your horse.
It's, like, so hard to pick until you actually see their personalities, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think Chelsea may go far.
Yeah. What did you think about her comment, I'm not a bitch, I'm a mom?
Yeah, I don't get that. Maybe, like...
Yeah, that's when I was like, she was giving me Courtney vibes.
Yeah.
Even though Courtney's not a mom.
Yeah. I just thought it was really interesting that, like, when she was with Ari, she was, like, giving all of these, like... She's, like, giving all the justification lines. It's like, just make out with him. Like, that's what you're there for.
Yeah.
Like,
That's okay, just do
yeah,
you.
Just
you
do what you do you. That was the thing I liked about Courtney. She was just like, I'm going to do this, and I don't need to justify it to anybody.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm a strong, independent woman who is here for a man. Speaking of men, this is such a worse transition. Let's talk about our favorite boy, James McCoy Taylor.
Yay.
So, what brought all I have of this is like one screenshot. What brought this on?
Okay. Basically, what it was that I had gotten in a couple of, I guess, Twitter arguments with him before. Basically, just because I don't believe anything he believes politically. But this one was not a political discussion. It was actually just him talking about Roy Moore's accusers.
Oh, what a nice light topic.
So, yeah, I don't follow him, but someone actually contacted me on Instagram and was like, oh God, look at what he's saying now. And so I went on there just to look, just to be like, what dumbass thing is he saying today?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually just got really upset at what he was saying about people who come forward with sexual assault stories. Because he was questioning the validity of, how long the girls waited to come forward with the stories about Roy Moore. And so, I mean, I know you can see it in the tweet, but I was just like, I don't believe that you care about everyone, or you're saying, you support women, but if you automatically say, well, why did it take them 20 years to come forward, then you don't support women because you should believe them. There's no reason for you not to.
Right.
And then it just proceeded to go on from there, and he's just not good with words. He should just not talk or tweet or say anything for a while.
That's fair. It's just, I feel like
right.
yeah. After a certain point when he says so many things that are just so terrible, you can't help but be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I have a theory.
I don't know.
So I talked about this in the last theory crafting post about like, I talked about this in my last theory crafting post, which is like a series that I do where I just like randomly analyze random statistics from The Bachelor because I'm bored. And basically I was talking about how like I was assigning naughty and nice values to some of contestants and then saying what presents they would get because I'm Santa Claus and it's Christmas season. And I gave James Taylor the naughtiest rating. And in part because of this, but also because of that time where on July 4th, or after a terrorist attack, he showed a picture of himself bare-assed, like, with, like, his American flag boxer shorts, like, hanging down or something like that. And I was just
God,
like...
he's such a piece of shit.
And so my theory is that, like, guys on the show tend to say these things because they want like the followers and the money, but it's harder for them to get it because, like, if you're just like, you can't just like take pictures of yourself and like you have to say stuff and be like provocative to get people to like notice you, and it's kind of like he's taking it too far. And it's
basically you just have to be like an interesting human, and then he took it too far to try to get more attention or something.
Like I forget exactly what I said.
He also, whenever he does things like this, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but he'll also tweet it at Tommy Lauren, who is like the devil.
Yeah.
And I think he just wants her to either like back him up whenever he is like getting in these discussions, or notice him as this like conservative dude that's trying to piss everyone off too. Mm-hmm. And he just hopes that like that will get her attention. And that's sad.
He's such a weirdo.
All right, here it is. I will read my post because my post has the numbers. So basically, I said, it says, in general, men on the show are much naughtier than women.
Oh my gosh.
Like, in terms of, like, being bad and, like, being mean or bad people.
The way you're saying that, though, it's just really...
What? Like, it's the naughty nice list. What do you want from me?
I know.
Men are much naughtier than women, but men are also about the same when it comes to relative niceness. So basically what that means is there's roughly the same amount of really nice men and women, whereas there are much more, like, really bad men. So, like, they have on the opposite ends of the spectrum, they're very highly populated, but in the middle of the bell curve, they're non-existent. And so this leads me to believe that women on social media are less outrageous after the show and are at worst getting bad scores for shilling too much, as opposed to men who go around running their mouths and looking like idiots on a regular basis. And in parentheses, I said, God, I wonder who that could be. And so I said, so why could this be? I said, well, men in general have lower social media followings than women. And so basically I did a post where I analyzed basically the optimal methods for shilling and getting money. And one thing I noticed is that all of the men were like hundreds of thousands of followers less than all of the women. And it's less of an option for them. The ones who shill effectively are Chase and Robbie, or as we call him, Rubby. They also happen to be dickbags, but they keep their opinions in their pockets, and as such get negative values for voicing those opinions at one point, while also shilling a ridiculous amount. So they say one awful thing, but then stop because they realize they're losing followers, and then they just go back to shilling. And I said also, the women tend to be more middle of the road because they have followings to protect and need that sweet dollar bill, y'all. Also, although this can impact their niceness values, as too much shilling puts you on the naughty list. But basically, it's when you have a following to protect, it's a lot harder to go out and say dickish things, because being outrageous might help you get more followers. It's basically a risk-reward analysis. So James Taylor,
very detailed.
Yeah. So James Taylor is being a dick because he thinks that he will maybe get more followers for being a huge dick, which is a stupid reason to do it, James.
Yeah.
Not that there's a good reason to be a dick.
Well, I feel like when he does this, like whenever he says something controversial, then he gets on Snapchat and he does like a sing-along to a Disney song to get more young girls to follow him. So he like balances it out that way.
Oh no.
There was one post on the sub of him, of like he apparently he was playing at like a sorority house with Luke Pell or something like that. And like they were advertising it, and I was like, why would you do that? That's just like the scummiest, like, so gross. I was so...
I'm like scrolling through his Twitter right now.
Give us the highlights.
So, he tweets a lot about A&M, which he never graduated from A&M, so that's kind of weird. Oh, it's not weird, but
did he?
I'm a hater of A&M, so that's that. But that's obnoxious. He tweets a lot about high school football, which is pretty old.
Well,
and that's like a red flag.
Yeah, I would imagine. Anything else?
I mean, the rest is just like normal. I'm a conservative. I believe in stupid shit. You know, whatever they always tweet about that I always just scroll past.
Yeah. Gotta say though, there's nothing wrong with being a conservative. It's just
there's nothing, no.
Some
it's just like,
people, yeah.
Those obnoxious people who decide.
It's all the same stuff that you just like. He tweets about every day, you know. Kind of
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
Yeah. It's just. So what did you think about, I remember it was like right before Bachelor in Paradise, he like sent out that massive text to people. What did you think about that?
Wait, what?
I didn't think it was genuine. I think it just got to the point where everyone thought he was a douche and no one wanted to hook up with him anymore, and he knew he had to do something like to try to get in everybody's good graces. But I'm telling y'all, I've never met him, but everyone I talked to from the show had something bad to say about him.
Oh, weird.
What did you think of him when he was on the show?
I thought he was kind of gross. And this is, before any of this stuff had happened. Like, I just thought he seemed kind of sloppy. And I don't like those guys who I feel like get you in the friend zone in a way. And then they, like, try to kiss you. And when you don't want to kiss them, they're like, wait, but you were sending me the wrong signals. And it's like, no, we're just friends. He seems like that kind of person to me.
I could see that.
Random shill for the Nice Guys subreddit.
Oh, gosh.
Everybody. This is where he belongs.
Yeah.
Nice Guys. Get it? Because it's what he is. That was what I got from him. Like, him and Midget Alex. Sorry, that's mean.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Waddeque. That was like the greatest. Him just like going off on Derek, like, you don't deserve him, blah blah blah. And I was like, stop. And then
That was so weird.
And then he went on Bachelor in Paradise, and it just got so much worse. It was great watching.
Bless his heart.
Yeah. That's how I know you.
heart.
That's how I know you're from the South.
Yeah, it's when you don't have anything nice to say.
Bless your heart. One second. So, let's move in to a segment we like to call Rose of the Week. So, we give a rose to one person in Bachelor Nation who did something awesome, and then one person on the sub who did something awesome. And so, my nomination for Rose of the Week, and you all can throw out yours. Well, I have two. One is for Ashley for coming on and being awesome here.
Thank you.
The second one is to Dominique Alexis for she's the contestant interviewer on The Voice now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. She did great.
She's doing good.
That's cool.
That's
Awesome.
killing it. Yeah. Who are your nominees?
Ugh. I don't have one for the sub, but wait, can we do a little roundabout? Maybe come back to me. Oh, actually, I'm gonna give one to Caitlin because she started on Broadway, right? And I mean, I know it's been a minute, but it seems like she's doing good, and that's who I can think of. So I'll do Caitlin.
That's good. Tex, who's yours?
I'm gonna go with JoJo because on the best looking Bachelor Bachelorette post, I think she like swept every post.
Wait, she did?
I don't know. The ones that didn't were like downvoted, so it's like odd. I don't know why she got like on every post, but good for her. Good job, JoJo.
I'm gonna look at this. Oh yeah, wow. Yeah. So Ashley, who gets your rose of the week?
In Bachelor Nation.
Can I give mine to two people?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, I'm gonna give mine to Derek and Taylor because I thought their Hawaii vacation posts were really cute.
Oh, nice. I think I saw a little bit of that. She lives where we do, so there's that.
She used to.
Oh, she
moved. She moved.
Aw.
Yeah.
No longer a Seattle resident?
Yeah, she used to live in Seattle by us.
Sad days.
Yeah. We never met her, though. So.
Yeah, I think they're moving to New York.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't blame them. New York would be really cool. So.
I don't know. Seattle's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, wow. JoJo's like everywhere on this post. And then you put Jen Saviano text.
Yeah.
I'm upvoting.
I got downvoted.
Why? I upvoted you. There you go. So Derek and Taylor. So my nomination for Rose of the Week in the sub, and I think that Tex is just going to agree with me because Tex didn't browse the sub this week, is Charmed 871 for her baby names post, which is super in depth and goes on it analyzes like all of the different kids whose parents were affiliated, and then like there's the single parents, and it's just like super in depth, and I really liked it, and I thought that was cool.
Very cute.
That was cool.
Yeah.
The babies of Batch Nation.
Someone named their kid Gatlin.
That's Emily's kid.
Oh, Emily Maynard?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Which one? She's got a couple now, right?
Yeah, she has a couple.
So Ricky Gibson, Gatlin Jennings, and Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. So you know Emily, right? She was on your season?
Yes, she was
Okay.
on my season.
So...
And whenever she walked in, we were all just like, all right, we can go home.
Aww.
And then she told her story, and they were like, all right, well, we're definitely going home.
So how close were you with Emily?
In the house, she didn't really, I feel like she didn't really, like, let people in, and not saying that in a mean way. I think, like, the process was very uncomfortable for her. She did not like being away from her daughter, and she was having trouble sleeping. Like, one day she
Aw.
woke up, and she had taken, like, a Andean that the producers or someone had gave her because she couldn't sleep, and she was so out of it. She was just, like, walking around like a zombie.
Oh.
I don't know, just, she was, like, the sweetest person ever. She was the house mom. But yeah, I feel like she didn't get super close to anyone. I felt like she didn't even really know what was going on with her and Brad. Like, when we would make fun of him, she would, like, laugh at us making fun of him, too.
Huh.
But, yeah, no, I feel like we got closer definitely after the show.
That's good.
Nice.
It seems
Yeah,
that's
we're
one.
both from North Carolina, so.
Oh, okay. That's one good thing
Yeah.
about Bachelor Nation. I feel like you make a lot of really good friends too, or it seems like it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
that part seems cool.
Oh, for sure.
So-
Especially on seasons where I feel like no one really cares about the guy.
Oh yeah, you start to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're just like, we're not going to end up together. We might as well make friends.
Yeah, enjoy
That's
your
how it went on
time.
my season, at least.
Oh yeah.
So I have a question to kind of follow up. It's like you mentioned Emily was the house mom. How often would you say that the quote unquote house mom actually goes far? Because it seems like that Emily was kind of unaware that Brad was super into her. And how long do you think people like that kind of tend to go on this show?
I think usually they do go far because if you have something else to keep you occupied, then you're not necessarily going to be super emotional or get involved in drama.
That's fair. And you might not, like, you'll act like you normally would around the Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Right.
And so they get to see who you really are versus maybe a different side of you because you're in this, like,
Exactly.
stressful situation. Yeah.
Nice. It's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
I like it. Limo egg. So let's move on to the limo exit of the week. This is for someone who screwed up big time. James Taylor doesn't count because he has earned a permanent place on our list. So you can't pick him. I have my nomination, but I'll let everyone else start first.
I honestly have no idea, so I might just skip. I can't think of anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tex?
It's Christmas. I'm not going to be mean.
Damn it. Ashley got a nomination.
Oh, sure. I always have dudes nominate for this.
Thank you.
It's another Bachelor dude. I can't remember what happened this week or last week, but whatever. It lasts forever. It's Ed for trying to talk shit to me on Twitter too. And then I just told everyone about what he did for this cancer research charity thing that we did once. Do y'all remember this?
No.
Fill me in. Yeah.
We should remind everyone, at least.
Okay. So Graham Bunn every year used to throw a lemonade stand charity event, and I would always be in charge of kind of getting everyone to come.
Mm-hmm.
And the year that like Ed was on Bachelor Pad and Jacqueline and all those people, we wanted to get them to come, but Ed was kind of being like weird about it, and so I told Graham, I was like, I think if we pay for Ed to come and maybe pay for his plane ticket, he'll definitely show up. Yeah. So Graham really didn't want to. I somehow talked Graham into it. Ed assured us that he would be there, and him and Sarah Newlon, I probably don't remember her, ended up meeting up in Chicago, getting wasted, and skipping out on the event.
Oh my gosh.
And so I think Reality Steve ended up like posting about it, but I never said anything, and the event ended up being fine. We were just like, whatever, Ed sucks. But he tried to like say something shitty to me on Twitter. I was just like, all right, time to tell that story.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's cringe. For him.
Deserved.
Yeah.
I feel like you've got like a binder on people, so like if anyone ever like a binder of like people who just like really fucked up in Bachelor Nation, and I'm really interested to hear more of these people.
I know. I really want to write a book about it.
Do
We
it.
should. We'd buy it. We'll
Yeah.
support it.
I was gonna read from Elon's book. I don't know how you feel about the producers, but after their sexual harassment lawsuit, I kind of have a negative opinion on them.
I mean, I'm sure some are fine and some aren't, like most things.
Okay, I'll narrow that down to specifically Elon.
Yeah.
And so I was gonna read his book, but I couldn't find a copy to pirate because I didn't want to buy it.
Oh, that's illegal. Don't say that.
How do you view the producers? That's actually a follow up, I guess, after that. So you can say what you were gonna say, but then I also wanted to answer that.
I've had different producers I have different opinions of. And Alon is one of the ones who I'd say I felt very close to him before my season, during my season, and then afterwards. And I'm going to say that this is also when he was drinking, and I know that he's sober now.
Oh,
so I don't know if it's unfair for me to kind of hold this against him, but he definitely said some things about me that got back to me, and I know that he definitely said it because like 3 different people told me that weren't communicating with each other, so that really upsets me. But like I said, he was drinking at the time, and now he's sober, and I've never even like said anything to him about it because I don't even know if it's worth it.
Right.
Because I know in the end, like, producers really aren't your friends.
Yep.
They're doing whatever they're doing because either they want you to come back for another show or, it's always some sort of manipulation. Yeah. But then there are other ones who I still follow on Instagram, I still follow on Twitter, that I still talk to, that I love. And actually, what I will say about that sexual harassment suit, it's one of the producers that was named. His name's Bennett. And when I first heard it, my first reaction was to be like, no, not Bennett. And then I was like, I can't be like that. Yeah. And this is what I get upset at other people for saying. And
it's yeah. It's hard when you're not in this situation. Sorry, it's hard when you're not in the situation, like looking from the outside. Yeah. But then when you know someone, I'm sure it's a lot harder to deal with.
Yeah. So I didn't know 2 of the other producers' names though. I just knew Alon and Bennett.
Oh, okay. Do you feel like the show Unreal was pretty accurate or no?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was watching it and I was like, no, not really. But I feel like the overall reaction was that yes, it was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, there's definitely some things that are Like, I don't know that
Dramatized.
people really, like, have sex that much on the show. And
Yeah.
there's definitely not any producers having sex on that show because they never shower and they never get to sleep. And,
Correct.
yeah.
It's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm learning so much.
I know.
It's like a knowledge brain explosion. I didn't expect to be learning at 8:45 at night. I'm in my pajamas. I'm in my pajamas. This is not for learning time. So my nomination for Little Exit of the Week will be Dean. Because Dean got mad that people kept bringing up D'Lo and Christina. And then he went on his podcast and decided to start saying bad things about D'Lo and Christina.
Oh, no.
It's like, dude, if you're gonna...
Let it go.
If you want people to let it go, you have to, make the first move on that one. You can't just...
Smart guy.
Yeah, you can't just expect other people to let it go and then just continuously bring it up.
Yeah.
He's like that guy.
That was sad because I was rooting for both the girls.
Yeah.
But
What's your take on that, the whole D'Lo, Dean, Christina business?
Me?
Yes.
I really don't. I feel so icky about the whole thing.
yeah.
What do you mean?
I just feel like Christina said some things that she shouldn't have said about D'Lo.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I think that Dean said some things about both of them that if he had said those things about me, I would never talk to him again.
Yeah.
So I feel like both of those girls just need to completely eliminate him from their lives because they can do so much better.
Yeah.
I don't care like how cute Dean is. Like, he's very immature and he has a lot of maturing to do in his life before he ever finds the one.
Agreed. I feel yeah. I feel so tricked because I thought he was totally different. So, but that's okay.
Yeah, that his family episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you want to believe the best in him. But
Right, and there was so much we didn't.
I have an immature joke.
Christina's like learning how to fly planes or something now, so.
I have an immature joke about Dean. You know that Family Guy bit where Uma Thurman's eyes keep getting farther and farther apart on her head? That's what Dean looks like.
No,
His eyes are really far apart.
I
That's
never noticed that.
It's like,
I've never noticed that.
yeah, it's the one thing that like I look at Dean and I'm like, why? Like there's like the uncanny valley between his eyebrows.
I never noticed that.
I'm sorry, that's mean, and I know that we're not supposed to make fun of like people's appearances, but it just like it's not really making fun. It's just like that's the thing that just sticks out at me every time I see Dean. Here it comes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, like
Jackie Kennedy had eyes like that too.
Oh yeah, kinda. Wait, why wouldn't you look it up like that? I was about to like search it on Instagram. I'm like, wait, no.
well, Jackie
I
Kennedy.
just watched The Crown, so I'm like, I've seen too much stuff.
Jackie Kennedy probably does have an Instagram. Let's be real.
I mean, yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
actually, yeah, she does.
They have similar.
No.
No, she does.
No,
not about the Instagram, but the eye thing. Yeah. Jackie Kennedy spelled I-E.
Oh, whoops. Now I'm looking.
Oh, but she actually.
Oh my God, she does. It's not verified.
It's not verified, so I highly doubt it. But you know,
Yeah, she's only following one person.
Is it
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy? Please.
it can't
John
be
F.
like her kids.
Yeah, the John F. Kennedy Project.
Oh my gosh.
That's glorious. You remember?
Like not by her kids or anything. It's just a random person.
So Ashley, you remember this? You remember when Kanye started on Twitter, and
Yeah.
he did that contest to follow only one person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he still follows that one person.
Yeah.
He follows that and Kim, and those are the only people he follows.
Wow. Goals.
Have you ever seen the Twitter account Kanye Doing Things?
No.
Oh,
What is
this sounds amazing.
I've seen it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Am I gonna like my laugh is gonna be really loud on this microphone?
Oh, it's like it's a top one.
God.
Just getting McDonald's. He looks so happy. He looks genuinely happy getting McDonald's.
So I play a lot of Dota, which is a video game, and there were rumors that Kanye played the original Dota, which was a Warcraft 3 mod, and that he used to play a lot on the servers until they died. And so, like, there's, like, this rumor that he actually might be playing Dota 2. Like, you might actually play a game with Kanye. Which I think is the coolest thing ever. Yeah.
Kanye is just so, I don't know, I feel like he's way more normal than in, like, an awkward way.
He's a dork. He's such a dork, and I love it.
I love Kanye.
Like
I love him too.
I'm a big Kanye guy. So.
Him and Lupe Fiasco are, like, the biggest dorks ever, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Have you ever seen, there's this company on Instagram that you can buy, like, Kanye's tweets, and they're framed?
Yes. I'm gonna buy some. I'm not gonna lie.
That should have been my Secret Santa gift to you if I were.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
I only know that because I got my husband one.
Nice.
That's a good idea.
That's a fantastic gift.
Yeah.
Like, so you know our living room's, like, decorated in Kanye tweets.
Oh my god.
Words to live by, inspirational quotes. It's fine.
Those guys should sponsor this podcast.
Yeah, we should. That should be your first one.
Yeah.
Who,
Yeah.
Kanye? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Frame Kanye tweets.
Yeah.
So would you vote for Kanye if he ran for president?
Oh my goodness. Enough.
If you were playing against.
Like
That's a better question.
anybody.
I mean, that's
Is he running against Trump?
because
Well,
then, yeah, we vote for Kanye, right?
Yeah.
but anybody. Like Kanye's running in 2020. Zuckerberg might run in 2020.
I mean, I'm not voting for Zuckerberg because he is an actual robot. So,
It's illegal.
If it's Kanye on the house, I'm taking the house.
Yes. So, have you ever read I, Robot? The book, not the movie.
I didn't read it. I only saw the movie.
So I, Robot.
reader.
Okay. There's a story. So basically, the movie is basically an amalgam of the different short stories that make up I, Robot. And one of the stories is there is this guy named Stephen Byerly, and he's running for president. And everyone's like, this guy's so perfect. There's nothing wrong with him. And the main character of the books, of the stories, has this idea that this guy has to be a robot. And she comes up with all of these tests, and she hits him with a car, and she does all of this crazy stuff. Like, I don't know if she actually hits him with a car, but, like, she gets him into he gets into an accident, and, like, all of this stuff is, like, convinced that he's a robot. And then, like, the ending is, like, very, like, is he a robot? Probably, but you don't know. And that's what I feel like Zuckerberg is like. Like, I think that Zuckerberg actually might be a robot, but there's really no way to prove it.
well, because there's a joke. I don't know if it's tweets or if it's like videos of him, like him trying to do normal human
Yes.
things. So kind of like the Kanye thing, but
so great.
for
It's a great meme.
it's pretty good.
Zuckerbot.
It sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. I can't get too much into that show. I freak out.
It's so depressing. I like happy things.
Yeah.
So now we do a question where we get to know the podcast guests. And normally we do contestant questions in a mix of something, but this question showed up on the sub, and I thought that it was a good one. If you were on the show, or in Ashley's case, you were on the show, and you made it to hometowns, where would you take your lead in your hometown? Like, what would you do?
That's a good one.
Tex, you want to start?
No, I don't want to start.
Okay, you start.
Okay. I don't know. Probably take them to, there's like a wildlife preserve kind of by my house. Probably go there, walk around. I don't know. My hometown's really boring. Also, there's no cell service there for some reason. Like, it's just suburban Massachusetts, but there's like no cell service in the town center.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Are we allowed to drive?
Yes.
Okay, because
Yeah.
that makes everything a lot easier.
So go into Boston. then.
Yeah, I'd probably go into Boston. Walk the Freedom Trail. I don't know. Oh, get a cannoli.
Yeah, the
Get a
Mike's
cannoli.
cannoli.
Oh, Mike's cannolis.
Okay, well, I'm from Arkansas, so I'm from the South. But I don't know. My town is kind of boring too. We'd probably eat some barbecue. I don't know.
Oh my god. That would be
I don't
awesome.
know. Go to a Razorbacks game.
Woo pig suey.
Yeah. I don't know what else I would do.
Yeah.
Go to Walmart, home of Walmart. party enough there. Do a little Walmart ad.
Save money. Live better.
Walmart.
All right. What about... All right, Ashley, you're up because Tex is being lame.
What?
So I'm from a very small town in North Carolina that's like 900 people.
Yep.
And there's nothing to do there. There's like one stoplight.
Yeah.
So, our high school, though, is actually pretty big, and so it's kind of like Varsity Blues. So I think what I'd probably do is, like, freak him out just by, like, driving him around the town, like, how small it was. And then maybe we would go cow tipping.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
The only thing that is fun for people to do there. And then we would eat at Dixie Burger, which is this
cute.
really small, like, southern food place.
That's cute.
And then we'd go watch a football game.
Cute. High school football game.
game.
That's like where everyone goes. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the place to be on a Friday night or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. That's why I didn't end up there.
That's okay. I also lived in a town for a little bit that was 400, but those towns are usually close to other small towns.
Yeah.
But still, it's still small, so I understand.
Yeah, they're like ours, even the whole county, like you have to drive 45 minutes to go to like a movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
Or-
Yep.
Gosh,
Ooh.
Yeah, it was rough.
I'm so glad I could walk.
Yeah, ours
this
was
way.
like the closest one was 30 minutes, I think. Yeah.
No,
Weird.
yeah, I can identify.
Yeah, sometimes I go back home and I'm like, wait, what? I lived this way? But,
Yeah.
all
All right, Tex, you're up.
Well, see, I feel like I've lived long enough in Austin that I can just pick all the touristy things in Austin. So that's like Lake Austin, Barn Springs, 6th Street.
Nice.
I can hit the whole shebang.
Which barbecue place would you take her to?
Barbecue. Everyone wants to go to Franklin's, but the wait's always too long. I like Terry Black's.
Black's is the one I've heard is good.
Yeah.
Solid.
I just got kicked out of Barton Springs recently.
Whoa, what?
Because we went there for a bachelorette party, or we went to Austin for a bachelorette party, and someone
Nice.
thought it would be like a good idea for us to all bring like huge coolers and drink there, but we were like with a group of 15 girls, so we literally walked in and got kicked out immediately.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was not cool.
You were asked politely yet firmly to leave.
Yeah. Well, they were basically like, you can stop drinking and throw away all your drinks and stay, or you
What?
can leave with all your alcohol.
I'd be like, I guess I'm leaving with all my alcohol. Bye.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Yeah.
Don't.
I mean, people are like meditating and stuff. We feel like assholes.
Wait, that's wild. Wild that they were
It's not a good
meditating.
place to take a bachelorette party.
So what is this place? Is it like a park?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
Natural Springs, like river that runs
Oh,
from
okay,
close
okay.
through the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good story, though, so it was worth
Yeah,
it.
good story.
Yeah.
I've never been kicked out of a place.
We'll have to work on that
Yeah.
next time.
Too polite. Yeah, that was very eye opening for everybody. I had a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. Thoughts?
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
of course.
Thanks for
problem.
coming on.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Of
Appreciate it.
course.
Love to have you on again.
All right.
Anytime.
All right. So next week is Christmas. I don't know if we'll do a podcast. Will we do a podcast?
We'll see. It's Monday's Christmas, so maybe.
Yeah. I have like Tuesday off too. There's no reason I shouldn't. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the podcast. But for QO, Tex, and Ashley Spivey, thank you so much for tuning in. And we hope you had a good time. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Oh, and
Bye.
Bye.
remember to subscribe to our Instagram and Twitter to follow along for more Reddit Bachelor action.
Yes. please
Links
do.
links will be provided in the YouTube comments and in the post. All right, bye everybody.
From Costa Rica, I gotta tell ya, best friends, you are my fucking best friends. Seriously, it's like the best.